All right. Welcome to episode 28 of the HipPodHedz podcast. I'm No Sage, along with Novek, where we discuss our favorite hip hop moments. We got a special guest on the episode this time. TJ, my guy from way back from the staffing days, bro. Man,
Ah,
hustling on these staffing streets, bro. What's up with you were on a podcast like not long ago, right?
I might have been, man. So
Okay.
I do a little bit now for like my actual job.
Oh, word.
And
Okay.
then some of the stuff I just be hopping on here and there. We be talking about just like random stuff. It just kind of depends, man. I mean, everybody podding now, which I like. I think the
Yeah.
content is so much better than some of like the commercials and stuff that's going on. I've been trying to talk to my
Yes.
company about it.
Right.
Like people want to be invited to conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like there's three of
Yes.
us on a call right now. Like, can we have a conversation that's engaging enough to make the person feel like they're the fourth person, at the space table? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? But yeah. But no, we go way back, man. That was my first like probably like real gig in Chicago. Um, and you're a wild boy. I wish
We try.
I should tell some of these Jason Allstate stories.
Hey.
That'd be a funny way to start the pod.
After hours, after hours. Well, I mean, like we got a lot of moments that we can chop it up about. I don't want to go too deep in the bag, but it was fun when we obviously did
Can I
that.
tell one though? Can I tell
Yeah,
one though?
please spill
All right.
what you got.
So this is funny, man. All right. This is when I was just like, yo, I only had seen Jason act like professional, like the entire time we was working together. He was always, company man. He was doing what he was supposed to do. Everything was good. We had this meeting where like the higher ups came in and our bosses was in there and our boss's boss was in there. And they basically explained like this new pay structure and scale. And they were like, this is where you guys are currently at compensation wise. This is, where you should be based upon like the market and, your contributions and like all these other kind of things. So then we all sitting there like, okay, cool. That's what's up. Like thinking the only way that this conversation ends with them being like, so we're adjusting you all to, get your pay like where it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the scale. I'm like, I bet. So I'm like 28K under like the minimum. Like cool, I got a raise. Like I don't know where Jason was at or just like other people or whatever. But that's not how this call ended. And I just saw Jason's face shift, like, yo, what the F? So did you just tell me that I'm underpaid and you not gonna do nothing about it? Is that what you just spent this last 45 minutes doing? And then like so we leave the meeting and like the boss says something to Jason and Jason just cut that man down. So, like I pulled Jason outside. I was like, bro, you can't talk to you can't like man, you about to be unpaid. Like you can't talk to the boss like that, bro. I'm like, we underpaid, cool. Now they've admitted it, but I was just like, you can't go at him like that, man. But I was rolling. Like just to see Jason's face, he was smiling. I think y'all had the kid on the way too, right?
Yes, indeed, we did.
So he's
It
like, all
was
right, man, it's gonna be good news. I can share it with Maria, when we get home. Like your boy probably just got about 20, 30K more in pay. And then the money got taken from him. Like I feel like you already knew what J's you was about to go buy. Like you was you was already counting the money. And they was like, it's not coming. It's not happening. And Jay was like, nah, I'm not here for it.
definitely not. Yeah, man. That was facts. I mean, no, the new Jays didn't come. Yes, I still had to show off the random library CDs that I had to borrow that I couldn't buy. Hey TJ, burn the CD that I got. I got a stack of free CDs from the local library in the suburbs. Yeah, couldn't spend none of that cash. That's for sure. That's for damn sure.
I can't believe we was actually making that least amount of money. That's gonna sound very privileged, but like in hindsight, it was just like y'all was real bogus for for the work that what we were doing and how much some people were making off the work we were
Right,
doing. I was like, this kind
right.
of wild. But it's cool. We had a dope time, man. Food days. like just chilling.
Yeah, plenty of awesome days, man. And then the flag football days, and open gym basketball, like tons of good memories, bro. I
Man, I
oh, what
They
were you
just
gonna say?
they just threw
nah,
it
I
on the
be
whole
thinking
campus.
I be thinking in my head that, wouldn't it be dope to get one more season of flag football? And
Hey.
I'm like, nah.
Ah!
Uh,
A
Not at
lot of
all.
feelings were hurt. A lot of feelings were hurt.
For
yeah.
A
sure.
lot of people, a lot of people on our team had that same humbling moment that I just had at that conference room pay structure now. But yeah, TJ, man, it's a blessing to have you on the show, man. I've been really, really wanting to have you on this pod for quite some time. And I also want to introduce my cousin, Q. I see you on the chat, man. How you doing?
I'm solid, yo. How about y'all?
Going
Good
on, man.
stuff. Good stuff, man. If y'all remember, we had Q on the show before talking about DMX on episode 10. We were still mourning, obviously, but I wanted to have Q and TJ to kind of chop it up on this topic because, to be honest, like you two, in my eyes, are like my how can I say it? You're basically the experts on the R&B game, if I were to put it quite frank, you both know what's going down. We actually were talking about R&B and rap collabs on one of our former episodes in episode 4, but Novek has brought up this term a lot in some of our talks, and he would say like hip hop hybrid, like artists like The Weeknd and whatnot, and that my mind kind of just blew up when I heard that term. I was like, I never put it like that, like we talking about like a Kid Cudi or whatever, but even beneath that, like I think like the R&B game has definitely something to say for sure. I'm going to put you through this really crude example. So check this out.
Don't do that.
I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go there. All right. So look, I was organizing some old ass chords, right? Chords like this where you would like plug in the audio, right? Put them in a bag. Maybe I meet them. Maybe I don't. Chords like this, the old ass USB that I got stuff that I still need to charge up. Like the light I'm using right now still plugs in there, right? This chord comes out where it has this on one side and this on the other side. And my head is like, what the fuck do I do with this? I can't even categorize this to put this in the fucking bag. So where I'm going with this is that I feel like the hip hop hybrid artist is like something you can't categorize. It could play in multiple lanes. And yeah, I just wanted to hear you both kind of like, kind of draw some gems on that.
So you trying to take it back to the aux cord days now, huh?
The aux cord, crazy, man. Put it in the cassette tape.
Hey, real talk. So that's a double barrel question. The first one is basically, draw some gems on what you think is some of your favorite R&B moments that kind of cross over to hip hop, or maybe not, because I feel like R&B in its essence could be hip hop. But the second question is kind of like, I don't know if this is sort of like overthinking it, but some people feel like animation always exceeds film or TV because of what they can do. So can hip hop be too preachy? Like KRS-One is my number one ride or die, no question about it. But like, is hip hop only almost its own cautionary tale on like how to sort of stay in one lane and not paint that animated picture like you can in the R&B space or any other musical space?
Well, I'll go back to the first question and then throw it over to your cuz, man. But like I'm a '90s R&B dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up. I'm an '80s baby, like '87. And then so the '90s was like peak like music and stuff for me. So when I think about just like hip hop, rap, and essential, like everyone just had like dope features like all the time. It really kind of like the only person that I thought was like a real hybrid, meaning like they was rapping and singing and like really doing it at a high level was like Missy Elliott. Like Missy Elliott was rapping and she was singing. Like that's my hybrid model. The only thing really close to her like would probably be like Drake. The other people that are rapping and singing, like they don't do them well. Like Tyrese, you're a singer, bro. Like every time I've heard him rap, I've been like, nah, that ain't it. I don't like Chris Brown rapping because he's not really rapping. Like it's just like that's not it. You know, Music Soul Child tried to rap. That hurt. I was like, bro, stop that immediately. But Missy Elliott was like she's like my
Mhm.
hybrid architect. But I just miss, you know, some of these R&B songs just having a you know, a dope rap interlude, man. I think about like, you know, Puffy and Mace jumping on a Mariah Carey, Bone Thugs and Harmony jumping on that Mariah Carey, you know, Mace, Brandy sitting on top of the world. Like those are the type of like songs and stuff that I always felt like gave me like that good feeling. Like my go-to song is literally Lucy Pearl with Snoop Dogg. Like it's on I think it's on the Say the Last Dance soundtrack. But bro, like when I hear that song, like my whole mood changes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like now people be hating on like Wale, but I'm like, yo, like I'm good with Wale and Jeremiah. I'm good with J. Cole and Miguel. Like every time they link up, like hot songs come out. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the type of hip hop kind of stuff that, you know, I'd be looking at. But I don't know. But I'll turn it over to y'all, what y'all think about it.
Well, you made that comment about Missy Elliott. You know, she's like a triple threat if you think about it. You're writing it, you're singing it, you're rapping it, you're doing everything in that regard. Now you look at hybrids today, you think about Anderson Paak, you think about
Yeah.
you know, the weekend you mentioned, you know, sometimes Tyler the Creator wants to sing. You know, he's singing on tracks, which is kind of crazy, but you know, he's using auto tune. And I'm trying to think who else. There's a couple other people out there you think about. Like Jeremiah, you know, he did that one track with he did that one track with J. Cole, and they were trying to vibe it off each other, you know, that the airplanes track. And it sounded pretty good. I think, like, you know, you're right. There's some people that shouldn't sing. Like Chris Brown should never rap and sing. He should just sing and dance. That's about it. Or some people might say he's a better dancer than he is a singer. No, Chris is an entertainer, and you think about it, 100%. But yeah, music is so interesting right now. You think about like you know, we're going through the Taylor Swift revolution. Now she's trying to rap and sing. There's a lot going on out there.
Is he really singing or is he really rapping?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. I'm not
everybody thinks they can freestyle now.
I can't hate on nobody that's printing money like she printing money, but like I couldn't tell you like I would have to hear the song. I couldn't tell you the title of a single Taylor Swift song and like what she be popping. Most I know about Taylor Swift is she's rumored to be dating or hanging out with Travis Kelsey, and I was like, that's kind of dope because he you know he took a shot. But yeah, they talk about Taylor Swift and Barbie and Beyonce pretty much the entire you know economy right now, like keeping it afloat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with it.
Hey TJ, it's interesting you brought up J. Cole because like I don't think anyone would argue that he's probably up there with the top 5 rappers. But singing wise, like yeah, I think you were honestly the first one that played me a J. Cole song when we used to work together. Like I think when that song popped off, I think it was Workout or whatever. Like my
Yep.
brain started exploding. I was like, I don't even know who this is. Like they're playing in both lanes, they're
Mm-hmm.
making the R&B sound work, and they're coming with the you know they're spitting the bars too. So it's kind of like I hear you when you said it earlier, like the features of where it's at, but now sometimes, or even like at the peak of rap, like it's sort of like it almost is cringeworthy because you know it's like, all right, let's get the hottest rapper and the hottest singer and let's make money. And it's almost borderline AI, you know, matchmaking at this point, right? So it's like I think it's sort of interesting when you have an artist that can sort of like choose when they want to kind of double down on both sides.
Yeah, or just some art. I mean, some people are rapping and they know they can't sing, but they just have a different groove to them. Like a lot of people, like they don't like Wale. I love Wale's music. I think the stuff he's doing is crazy. But then there's other artists like a K Camp, which I love a lot of K Camp's music,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd be like, you know, it's him and like Tory Lanez, but they'd be like, Tory Lanez is a rapper, and I'd be like, is he? Because I only hear him singing, like, are using that auto tune type of stuff. So it's just like you know, where do we draw this line, and what do people want to do, right? Because you talk to some people and they were like, oh, hip hop, and it's like it can only be, you know, chaos. You know, it can only be Common. It can only be, you know, Most Def. Like I'm just like in hip hop, like, you know, I'm like, what is? How do you want to define it? Which I think, to your point, we get so many purists and people that want to claim what it is and what it isn't, and I'm just like, I'm just looking for the groove. That's me. Like I'm just like, am I vibing? Is the groove hitting? And you know, can we go from there?
Hey, Q, on your side, who do you got hip hop R&B wise?
I think you're about to hop in just a sec. I actually also wanted to take a moment because like when I saw Q over the weekend, we were chopping it up in Cali for a little bit because his brother's in LA area, and I was telling him my guy TJ also put me on what was that, TGT, right? And I was like, the super group TGT. And he was like, well, I don't know if they were sort of a super group as much as a project, right? Because I don't know if they had too much content, but you're bringing
They
up
just had the
Tyrese,
one
right?
album. They just had the one
Right?
album, but like that's really Tank. Like Tank is my favorite R&B artist. I love like all of Tank's music. I just can't go to the concert because I'm just like, it's not designed for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting second row and you just, you know, with the baby oil and all that. But the music itself, from from an R&B standpoint, like he was writing and producing and singing and going crazy with that. But yeah, man, like some of my favorite artists right now on the R&B tip, they're just doing some just unique stuff. Like I'm huge into Mac Ayres right now. I'm big into a kid out of Toronto called John Vinyl. Um, you know, it's just I just think music's in a really dope spot.
Yeah. The creativity is off the charts right now. You think about, you look at the fact that the hip hop influence on like R&B right now is pretty nice, but at the same time, R&B is being reborn, with a little bit of edge on it right now. It's not even pop anymore. It's that the people are really just blowing out really nice stuff. If you think about like even the weekend, to the fact that I used to think the weekend was a group. When he first came out, I'm like, that's gotta be a group of people. But that's just his multiple different personalities, you think about it. Or, like we mentioned it earlier, you look at Anderson .Paak, right? So he's got that West Coast vibe, and then he's got that really nice flow. And then, he kind of blew up, he could no, they connected and they formed that other super group, and they formed Jason, what's that group? Anderson .Paak and I'm talking
Bruno,
Bruno
about,
Mars, right?
yeah, Bruno Mars. And Bruno, Bruno Mars basically, is voice wise, the guy is incredible. He became a better performer, but he dropped. I call him Super Bowl Bruno. The Super Bowl is where he really got on stage and really blew up in music industry wise, because he was always been out there, but when he got on the big stage, he just took off, and everybody's like, "Who is this guy?" I mean, he's
yeah, he
got
went crazy.
went
He
crazy.
did. He went crazy at the Super Bowl. Then he went crazy at the Grammys like 2 years in a row, to the point where I was just like I don't that album. He ate off that album for like 18 months, like
Nonstop.
crazy. Because then he had the collab with Cardi B. That was towards like the end of it. But I was just like, yo, Bruno's eating right now. Like he is fully in his bag. Um, yeah. So I don't feel that way about a lot of artists. But I thought Bruno went crazy though for that time period. But I just feel like how artists be doing stuff. Like somebody hit me the other day talking about Justin Timberlake about to come back with something, and I was like, "Is he though?" Because I don't know. Like I feel like so you talk about the hip hop and the R&B kind of blend with some of the stuff. Like Justin had a run where Timberland was doing his stuff, and I was like, "Yo, this high quality." And then he tried to go make a country album, and then he been acting, and I'm like, I don't know if Tim can save you, bro. Like, like it's not good. But Tim put his touch on his stuff for sure.
Man, JT has been over ever since he didn't back Janet. He's been done with me in Super Bowls since
Oh,
then.
for sure. That
I
part.
mean, I mean, I got into an argument with an old high school classmate talking about, oh, J-Lo's Super Bowl was the best Super Bowl. I'm like, you must be mistaken. This is not, you're not
Nah,
saying this to me right now. Like, once again, between Michael, Bruno, that's
Prince,
about it for me. Prince, and even Justin being disrespectful and doing a Prince
the Prince
tribute
tribute.
Mhm.
Yeah,
after his passing, like immediately after, like
and how he
JT
was
has.
talking about
You want to talk about culture vulture? JT has been the epitome of one for how long,
for
in my
for a
opinion.
long
And I
time.
don't give after it was bye 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 and all that stuff and that whole that was your last friend, bro. And even 50 helped him a little bit, or
Oh
he
yeah.
had a couple of bangers to your point, but I think JT never could stand the test of time because it's just like, where's Robin Thicke at? Where's JT at? Where's Ricky Martin at? Like, where are those dudes of like that era that kind of were a flash in the pan that's still not, even with Swifties coming back, like you guys literally the pandemic hit and y'all disappeared. And you were
For
living
sure.
high and rich off of y'all residuals and your selling your catalog and everything in the background and made it a new trend. Ain't never really been loaded to the game. Sorry, I had to say bye to my sister-in-law real quick, but because I'm in Cali out here with Kendrick and them. But I mean, a lot of things
But
y'all
that's
touching right now. I feel like when you talk about these hybrids, like R&B and hip hop have always been a collabo, but like there was a big discussion back in not too long ago, maybe a year or two ago, when Versus was really getting kicked off, and Ja Rule was doing an interview with Breakfast Club talking about I'm the ultimate hybrid. I made it cool, like until 50 came in and destroyed his career. Singing and rapping was cool with Ja, even before Drake. So it's kind of like to y'all point, like how all these people don't want to be an R&B artist; they want to be a artist now. But like that melodic sound, like I think people who have been true to the game and mastering has always been like Drake, undefeated, the godfather of the hybrid. I feel like people who are honorable mentions is like Childs Gambino, Vince Menson. Like, I remember when me and Jay went to a 444 concert and Vince was there and he played a couple of songs. That boy really locked it down for me where I was like, I looked at him like an actual artist than just like a rapper.
who was
But
that?
like
Oh,
Vince
Yeah, Vic
Mensa,
Mensa was dope, but didn't Vic
yeah.
get into some
Man,
trouble though?
I mean, who doesn't? I mean, everybody got to have some trouble, Even if I had to say another hybrid that's pretty decent, that we'll see what happens after he do his bid. It's Tory Lanez. Low key, he's like slept on, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Tory was
He was
moving
a
until he got
he
locked.
was
He was
he was the
moving.
savior of the pandemic. Like freaking quarantine radio was like bussing. Like you
Lit.
had a whole movement behind that. Like and like for
He was
me, it was
really
just
doing his
like
best stuff.
exactly. And I just think that he had a rising to and one I would say, I'm so sorry, but T-Pain.
T
Everybody
Pain.
you talking about Missy. Missy is like kind of I don't want to say she birthed that, but like if you had to throw like a real triple threat, I'm producing, I'm rapping,
Mhm.
and I'm singing, and I done seen T. I met him in live. I met him, shook that man's hand after his brother passed, and like saw him throwing like you talking about energy and performance, like the total package artist. Like he is so slept on in so many
Absolutely slept on.
genres. Like
Mhm.
like like you even mentioned that like those are real hybrids. Is I'll give it to
Yeah.
T Pain. I'll give it to Drake because he was doing it before Drake was doing it. But I'll mention Ja, but he ain't on the list because it's just I'm Team Genius over here anyway. That's another
Mhm.
topic. But Vince and like Childish Gambino, like these are some of those artists that, like in my opinion, are like real hybrids that can do it all and have a rigidity.
I thought Chance was heading in there. Like Chance the rapper.
He
I
plays
thought he
that
was
fence
heading there.
though. He playing that
But I don't
fence like I'm a
know.
Christian
Because
rapper, but then it's like I want to be with my boys and kicking it and doing hood rat shit with my hood rat friends, but I can't commit because God gonna committing sin on
yeah.
God if I do that too hard. Like, and I think it's just one of those things where some of the stuff we're touching on when we talk, like those are in my opinion like real hybrids, but like um I always feel like it's always a collabo. You know, like how you were mentioned, TJ, like it's always gonna be All I Need by Method Man and Mary. That's my fallback for the ultimate collabo for, you know, the pinnacle
I
of
mean,
for
yeah.
my timeline for R&B and hip hop being a collabo. But
I love
I
that
always think
50 and
about
Chris
that.
Brown.
50 and Chris
50,
Brown.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Hmm.
the man. I'm the man. It's real nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can take it all the way back, but that's what I'm saying. Like how the artists and the stuff they used to put together. Like if you think about some of their most classic, like okay, cool, let's go to DMX, right? Like RIP. But like, how's it going down with Faith Evans? You gonna tell me that's
Mm-hmm.
not in his top five of like of his work? Like for me, it is. I'm just like even just the ad libs alone in that song is hilarious. Like like
The ad lib game, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because they don't bring that back. I just feel like I don't know. Like some of these cats like Lil Uzi can't who he gonna collab with on an R&B track. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like
Doja
I don't
Cat.
want to hear that.
Doja Cat and Lil Uzi. I'll pay to see that.
Mm.
You know what? Actually, you know what? Honorable mention though. And I don't know how good she's really been at it since then, but Pink Friday, like Nicki was rapping and singing her butt off on that entire
Oh,
album.
damn. I totally forgot about Nicki. You could put Nicki Minaj in that real true hybrid catalog, like low key. She
Like
and then she came
her
after
first,
Swifties and then she lost it all. But that's
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Got canceled.
another. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
You gotta keep
can't
them
do that.
industry friends. You gotta keep them industry friends.
Carrie Hilson or so.
Man,
She got canceled.
real quick.
Yeah, she
Too
just
quick.
parts of her body everywhere, all over the atmosphere right now. I mean, Carrie had everything, but
Yeah.
yeah, choices.
Can't talk about Beyonce.
That's true.
Can't do that. That's a no.
You can't even say her name on this podcast.
Yeah.
Uh,
Even B trying to drop bars now. Like that's
Lemonade. Think about the Lemonade album. That
yeah.
whole album, she's rapping and singing that whole album basically. Even though
Yeah.
it's Jay writing, it's Jay's voice. You know, to be honest with you, like
Mm-hmm.
sorry, that song "Sorry," that's Jay. That's Jay rapping. You know, as that's Beyonce performing a Jay-Z song. That's what "Sorry" is.
yeah,
Hey, I
I can see
mean,
that.
yeah, her wifey out. Can't let her.
The Carters. Think about the Carters. I don't want the Carters. I want Reasonable Doubt Jay Z back. I want him back. I don't want the Family Man. I want Reasonable Doubt back. Like we'll never get that back. But it's sad because you listen to the Carters. I understand the whole family thing with Ivy and everybody, but it's too much. You know, it's too much harmony. There's some things too much harmony sometimes on R&B albums. It's too perfect. You know what I mean?
uh,
Be careful what you wish for, Novak. If you get, Sean off the Beyonce books, he might be hanging out on the boats with Ye, getting some not safe for work photos on or some shit.
no boy.
That's gonna be the album of
I'm
the
not
year
gonna
when he
lie,
comes back.
man. For real, it really would be though. I mean, I would listen to it, but like, I almost like, I'm not gonna say I kind of got like, I got emotional listening to Graduation the other week, man. It just, it just kind of, it just came on and Stronger hit, and I was just like, it was just a time in life where like
Mm-hmm.
everything was good, and I was just like, man, like, how do we get here?
I
I
think
mean, I
that's
know.
just one of those things when you get told no so many times. It's like something I had told someone one time, when you get isolated, that's when your best work comes out. Like everybody was gatekeeping Kanye, you know, and then it's like until it came to that point where, couple of, industry people fall off. Like if you look at that documentary, I only got so far in that, but you kind of really seen that timeline, how like he had things in the bag before they were even coming to the forefront. And it's just kind of like how just like I feel like the industry have gatekeeped so many artists for so long, and it's like, oh, it's not your time yet. We gotta wait. We gotta hold off because we got other projects out there or other artists that you'll conflict and kind of like clash against because you sound like the same person at one time. And then, then you do make a break when you start, creating your own lane. But I think that when Jay kind of started getting out of the way and started really CEOing for Def Jam, that made enough room for him to get up in there. And then, a couple Rockefeller artists fall off, Memphis didn't pick up the throne like he was supposed to, and then Kanye takes off. But like I think then you look at like the downfall after graduation. Like I was telling Jay, like when we were looking at the documentary, I'm like, that's why everybody's loved with those 808s for so many years, and that vibe it brought. And then you see Dark Fantasy, and like how my boy was talking about at Cookout, like, oh, I love the artistry behind Dark Fantasy, but I'm like, that was the prequel to where we at now. To like the destruction that everybody's like, he's losing his mind. He's always been a genius, but you got like, he was like, how you look at Kanye? I'm like, he's light years ahead of us, and he's got to remember to slow down for us to catch up. And it's just one of those things where now it's like Elon Musk trying to explain a rocket to you, and he's just like, dog, I'm past that now. Like we ain't even talking about rockets no more. You know what I'm saying?
It's mad true though, because I mean the production on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was just like top, but I don't think he's ever gonna go to the level. Even just looking at the documentaries and stuff around that album, how he was redoing stuff, and he was in Hawaii and he was flying people in, and they were so much collab, and just like everything was perfect on that. To then come to the Life of Pablo, which had much more of a raw feel to it. Like you could see some of the same absolute like genius and stuff to it, but it just wasn't as refined as like a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And then a lot of people that mess with Ye, I thought Ye was all right. I didn't really mess with Yeezus. That's one of the albums I didn't really mess with. But like it's just crazy. Like you're absolutely right though. It's just like we're not running the same race. It's like, yeah, technically we are the same, species, but like he's different.
But Yeezus is light years ahead right now. Utopia from Travis Scott sounds like Yeezus. If you listen to Yeezus, I heard Utopia, and I was like, did Ye drop an album? No, that's Travis Scott. The difference between Travis Scott is Travis Scott does these ad libs. His albums, he'll take the track, he'll deconstruct it, and he'll drop another track at the end of the track almost. He did it with Future and everybody else. Like Future's a hybrid. You want to talk hybrids at this point. But Yeezus is so far ahead of the scale. He's on the new. He's talking about. He's talking on the Yeezus album. He's in such a weird place. This is like This is like Kim is messing up, and I got to figure it out. You can feel that he's getting ready to break up with his family. So Ye has like steps in development toward where he's trying to go. Then he cussed everybody out, and they were religious at that point. Then he went into the whole I want to love God and everything else, but he's still cussing on those albums. Profanity on Yeezus was at an all-time high. He bottomed out at the end of Yeezus basically, and he went religious. And then the religious people, the secular people, got mad because they was like, how does he win a gospel for putting out a gospel album? But the thing about it was he did gospel better than gospel people because he was coming from pain on that one. That whole the Jesus album, that's some crazy stuff. When you listen to it, I saw it live at Northern Ireland. I went out to that concert. There was people out there smoking weed and crying. I was like, what is going on out here? Wearing burlap sack outfits, man. The whole Yeezus movement.
Yeah. I think and like how you were saying, he kind of bringing Drake in on that project too. On that Amazon concert and everything, and loudness. Oh, I mean, that's like kind of making peace. It's like literally the definition of keeping your enemies close. You keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And then just like it's like kind of like a truce. But then it's like I can't really sing at all, so I need some help. But I mean, to your point that you're making, like I was hearing this one conversation. They were talking about women like Mary J and all them. Like women could talk about their pain in their relationship and they make crazy money doing it. But men, when they do it, it's like you being weak, you being soft. Or to your point, I could cross over from I was like talking about OnlyFans and Pornhub, and then I'm back to God. Like everybody's like to see the transition of a humanity literally being displayed in front of you. But I mean, just some people are not able to do that. It's like how he already is like cancel culture. Like y'all can't even cancel me no more. Like nobody really get canceled now. And now it's like now they went from Adidas dropping him and him not being worth $4 billion to now like, oh, they're staring down the barrel of a lawsuit and nobody's talking about it right now. And you about to pay this man his money because you fucked around and found
Hey,
out.
Q. So I was walking through the mall nearby your brother's, right? About nearby LA in the Westfield shopping, right? I just like browse through Foot Locker, check it out. Check out the J's I can't buy, like TJ said earlier. I walked through whatever, like a Finish Line. I walked through Vision Studio. I never heard of this place. They got like hundreds of Yeezys on the left wall, hundreds of Jordans on the right wall, and playing like the dirtiest, nastiest songs you can imagine.
It's Chicago, man.
Know what I'm saying, bro? No, but that was like in LA. That was nearby where your bro at. But I mean, I'm saying like,
I mean, that's Chicago. That's
word.
That's
I
J's
feel you.
and Yeezys.
No doubt. And none of them shoes were under like 3 C notes, like legit.
But that's what to my point. Like that's Chicago, man. Like the shoe game has been on lock since Jordan. And someone like Yeezus to come out the gates from Chicago and to be able to do that, if not arguably almost as good or better, but I digress. I mean, it's just one of those things where, go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupt your thought, but
No, that
confirming
was
what you're
it.
saying.
That was it. I mean, like, I might have to hop off in a bit, but y'all can still chop it up. I think one of the other things I was thinking about was like, so my kids are actually getting into hip hop, and it's been really a blessing to kind of introduce them to stuff I'm into. But I was sort of like schooling them on this cringeworthy like act of like songs that would have rap collabs and the same songs that they would pull the rap collab, right? So it's like, like Empire State of Mind, like Alicia Keys has a version without Jay. And I'm going through this exercise of different stuff, like, the Rihanna one with Eminem and the Rihanna one without M. And it's like, can you play the one with the rap? Like, don't play the other one ever again. So it's just kind of like hilarious, like how much, like how the industry was so afraid of rap. But obviously, hip hop and rap being like the #1 music right now, and everyone's making money, but categories are obviously being eliminated. I just was curious on y'all thoughts to that, like, and the other thing too that kind of I'm thinking about, like, TJ, you brought up that Snoop collab. Like, I literally was listening to Snoop's first album like yesterday, only because like 50 years of hip hop. I saw Slick Rick at Taste Chicago. I think it was like a couple weeks ago, and like Snoop doing the Slick Rick song. That whole Snoop album, and arguably a lot of his albums, is like infused with R&B. Like there's some times where he just like takes a time out and lets like the stylistics take over, or just whatever like R&B gods that he was like trying to culture everybody into to kind of take over the album. So I mean, I feel like a lot of those artists that kind of do that are hybrids, or even if they aren't hybrids, they want people to know what their parents made them listen to was like, almost a blessing in itself, whether they're dropping, Easter egg raps and whatnot.
That's wild. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm all for people just reaching like they pretend. Like I feel like there's people that want to do it and that could easily be in that lane and create that lane, but they so scared about like what sells or what companies are buying, and they just fall off, man. I'm just kind of like, that's why I feel like it's a crazy evolution of just like artists that like I first get put on and then you kind of just see the transformation like of those artists. So like perfect example, like you and I we went to the Bryson Tiller concert, right? And kind of a hybrid within that kind of Tory Lanez kind of thing.
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't really go to see Bryson Tiller. I went to go see her because she was opening for Bryson Tiller. And then I come back and I see her and who's opening for her is Tone Stiff. So then I'm like, okay, so that's cool. So her's
Hey,
headlining, and
wasn't
now
Metro
it's
Boomin opening one of those shows too? That same
oh
show
yeah,
you were
yeah,
at?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Metro Boomin, he opened for Bryson too. But then I go back and like I said, I'm rocking with this kid out of Toronto, John Vinyl, and I wanted to see John Vinyl, but it's Tone's show. So it's just literally like you see these artists, but now like sometimes I see her on like I literally was just thinking this morning, I'm watching ESPN and her singing on a nationwide commercial. And I was like, I felt like she was I felt like it was different, like back in the day. Like I was just like, I
Cash
don't know.
grab.
Yeah, I'm like, is he still ours? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just kind of depends. So when I'm thinking about this collab and this hybrid kind of thing, I feel like people are just trying to go like where the checks is at. That's why when he brought up, T-Pain, bro, like everyone running to a Taylor Swift concert, and I guess like I don't know her albums like that, and I don't really know Beyonce's albums like that too. I still think Beyonce's best album is The Writing on the Wall with Destiny's Child, but that's a whole other thing. But like a T-Pain concert, I feel like he would be in that mug rocking. Like, and he could sell out at all times. Like, and just be in there just doing his thing. Other artists just can't do that. Like, I don't care what they hybrid and all this other kind of stuff kind of go back and forth, but I don't know. It bothers me that T-Pain doesn't get to put out more music than he does. Or that like he's not as popular as he was when he basically ran everything for like a 7 year period, you know? So it's one of those. Like, give me T-Pain and Ja Rule. I'm gonna go see that. I'm gonna go see that show. Ja Rule still got
No,
good music.
no, we ain't
As
doing
long
that.
as,
We ain't
long as
doing that
50 is
with
allowed
Ja.
to show up.
No, exactly. Literally, we could give you 50 a T, but I ain't giving you 50 in Ja. I'm sorry, but I'm just anti-Christ on that shit. But I mean, it's one of those things to your point. Like, I think a lot of like Pain. I think it's kind of like he came up too gimmicky of era. Like how he talked about his kind of like self-love journey, like, oh, I'm buying these big ass chains and it actually says big ass chain. Or, to prove a point, like I got money or I can afford it, or he has all these hats and all these different things that kind of like drew attention to him instead of like how he got called out, like you're not really working on your craft, like you can't really sing. And then when he actually took the time out to stop drinking lean or really focus on his vocals, he recommitted to himself and in that dynamic of being a actual pure artist. I think he's too
I
hooked
still think he
on.
has the best Tiny Desk. Sorry
Oh
not
Oh
to cut
hell
you
yeah!
yeah,
off.
Oh yeah,
man.
Tiny
I
Desk is
still
my
I
jam.
Yeah.
I think T-Pain's Tiny Desk is like top 5.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely. I think it even helped Tiny Desk get more exposure after him. Like
But
everybody was more willing to do it.
it's
right.
better than Juvenile one. The Juvenile one is pretty good, but that T
Mhm.
Pain Tiny Desk, man, he was in the
Man,
zone.
even Snow Allegra, uh fucking Usher, Tank,
Uh,
like some other R&B artists that actually come down there and sound like what they sound like on records.
Mhm.
It's a good move. It's a good look for them.
if you
And
can do it, it's a good move. Like Duran
hmm
Bernard. I mean, I'm a big Duran Bernard fan.
hmm
Like his Tiny Desk was crazy. I thought Toby's Tiny Desk was crazy. Tyler the Creator's Tiny Desk is in my top 3. Like
go back and look at that.
It's nice.
not
He was in his
Ty,
element.
he was in like that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like he just the way he was interacting with the crowd, with his
hmm
background singers, like the musicianship of it. Like I feel like he thought it out, and he came out
hmm
there and he put on like a really dope Tiny Desk, and I was just like,
That's
it's up there.
that's
It's
how I
up
felt
there.
about Gambino's. Gambino's was really dope too, and him
I
even
thought
doing
his was
covers
great.
other people's
Yep.
songs really showed me his skill set. Like even like maybe another podcast in the future, like talking about artists that can do covers, but they just can't do their own songs. Like sometimes I feel sad for them because like sometimes people do covers of like my favorite artist songs and they actually sound better than the actual artist. And it's just kind of like, you know, those ghostwriters or people who are in the background that, you know, help with that launching pad for that project. And then that, you know, it's like, that's why I feel like just to touch back on Carrie Hilson, like that was her downfall. She did so many reference tracks. It's like you got stuck, you know, like Payne recognized, like I did so much production for people. I need to hold some of this for myself. And that's why he has the buying power of his collection. And like like maybe a versus for me would be like, I don't know, like a good versus would be like Jermaine and Puff. But like someone that like maybe a Missy and a T-Pain would be good because like the songs they could say they were on, like man, or even somebody like Neil and like versus Carrie Hilson, like they've done so much songs for people that it's just like the No Neil
I
wrote a
want.
lot of Beyonce's. I like
Yeah,
whoa.
let me throw one at you there because this is the one that
Mm,
I want. This is the
mm.
verses that I want. I feel like it needs to happen, and people will be very, very shocked. It's the Dream and Neo.
That would be a good one. I ain't gonna lie. Because Dream, like they both are era appropriate because they came up at like the same damn time and kind of broke through in that sense. That
But the
would be a
Like
good
dream,
people,
one.
the dreams always felt like a better version of Jazzy Faye, if you think about it. So Jazzy Faye
yeah,
never got over the top. You know what I mean? The dream came and did everything Jazzy Faye wanted to do. It's almost like he's like, you know, the R&B kid of that, you know, that particular era, if you think about it.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair though. But people don't even be knowing some of them songs that Dream wrote. They like, oh, what? And they don't know
Oh, he
some of the
wrote.
Yeah,
songs that Neo wrote too. And I'm like, hey
the
man,
catalog is savage on a lot of the people who just
like
name drop.
it's a lot. I mean, it's a shame because he a creep, but that R. Kelly Tank versus would have been crazy too. But
Nobody's beating
not
that man
Tank.
in verses. I mean,
Yeah, no,
Kelly shows up in
and
verses. He going against himself at this point. It's like
Man,
that's like
that
who.
catalog.
It's ridiculous.
I mean,
dude, catalog crazy.
shit. I mean, I wouldn't be mad to even see Usher and Chris Brown off the strength of it all.
You know
Because I feel like,
that's a good battle.
mhm.
Do they dance to settle the score at the end?
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to.
I don't
That's an
know.
element. I would
Usher's
want it. Give me big
Usher,
ass stage for both of them. Bring your team out. We gonna do this
Usher
like
gotta be what?
fucking
Usher like 42? How
at
old is
least
Usher?
at
About
I don't know,
least.
42. You know what?
That
He could
means
take some
I
HGH
don't
for
know.
that show and get ready.
Yeah, I
You
was gonna
He
know.
about
say
to do this.
he gonna have to get some shots in his knees and stuff. Pause.
Hey,
But
whatever he needs, whatever he needs. I'm an Usher fan right here. Like shit, Jason used to tease me with that shit. Like, oh, you think you got this
oh,
earring in your ear? You Usher now? I'm like, yo, don't you come for my body? Don't come for
you
me.
couldn't tell me that Confessions wasn't everything when I was a senior in high school.
It
Like I went
was.
to that
Like
concert.
I
I was
felt
low
like
key thinking about I was thinking about taking wifey to go see the Vegas show. But then in the
I
back of my head,
will.
I'm like, do I just want to see it? I'm like, I'm like,
You could come with
yeah,
me.
right.
You over there one of them
We
big posters on the stick.
Yeah, no, I
I was
think it would
mad.
have to
I
have
was
a
mad.
dance off. Mm,
I wanted to go see Jill Scott when she was here. I didn't go see her. I should have.
mm,
I mean,
Dope zone.
that's a dope artist. I mean, you think, you know, that's probably the hardest artist that nobody understands that hard. You know, just guys, she's savage with it. To be honest with you, it's a lot of artists that are real good, but she really is. She really says she like Erica Badu. That's the one we talked about a lot. She
mm,
behaves like a dude. You know, in terms of like the style, the demeanor. I
Yeah.
mean, she's created
mhm.
other artists. And Andre 3000, Three Stacks has not been seen since. Common's not the same person. She take
Man, she be glimmering, dog. She be glimmering folks and just ugh. It's just rough out there in
Man.
Atlanta.
And we
Should be-
we saw him in the airport playing the harmonica. 3
It's like
stacks.
when you could get Andre and what's her other baby daddy's name?
Oh, the
Jay Electronic,
the rapper.
Jay he went crazy.
Like so when you could get to like the hardest like hip hop heads to be cool with you, and y'all like one big happy ass family like that pussy got some pussy power that is just like ridiculous. Like I would hate to be in that situation. Like I don't want no
That's wild.
smoke with her.
Hey,
Like they are one big happy ass family. Like, oh, we're cool. We see each other. You know, we do the kids' birthdays and everything. Like, yo, like I don't know how to do that short. That's like
Yeah.
Jada having her world with like Will and August all over again, and everybody's cool with it. like
Everybody
They had
in
a-
the house is cool with it. We not.
for real.
This is some
Yeah.
crazy stuff, man. I remember that whole Philly Connect wave though. When they was like, we had the Roots. I think the Roots were killing it. They had some good hybrid kind of tracks and stuff too. When they was working with Jill, working with Erica, a group that I still think is a little underrated, but they first two albums I thought was crazy. And they literally had the hybrid duo with Flowetry. I thought Flowetry was dope. I thought I could have swore they was going to be around for a minute.
I wish I could be. I still listen to that Butterfly live soundtrack. Amazing. Like you talking about being in your feels. Like put on Let's Say Yes, like soundtrack live and like look at the visuals. Like man, like you talking about some real soulful ass moments on that record. And just
Absolutely.
that album. And then, damn, like low key, I slept again. Like when you look at like a real true hybrid, Lauryn Hill. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Queen. Like I just disrespected the whole lineup. That just alters the lineup ultimately because just her versatility and just being scorned by the industry is just kind of like the rebelliousness of her, and like how she's trying to pay tribute a little bit more now. But it's just like you create a stigma behind you. Like you don't come on time. Like you don't want this work. You don't want this job. And it hurts me as a fan. You know.
Well, yeah. Because even, I mean, I sent Wifey down to Essence Fest and she ended up going to the Missy Elliott show. But I had tickets for like multiple shows. And I was like, do you want to see Missy Elliott? And I was like, do you want to see Lauryn Hill? And it was kind of like, am I going to see Lauryn Hill if I decide to see Lauryn Hill?
That part.
All right. And so we just went ahead and chopped it up and went and saw Missy, which I think was probably the better show though. Because she was like, I totally forgot Missy had this track, and this track. And I was just like, yeah, Missy can go crazy for days.
Well, I mean, she ran from 96 to about 2004. She ran about 8 years across time. Because you got to think in that time you had Puffy putting on shiny suits, you had Wu-Tang was in the mix in that situation. You know, there was a lot of opposition when she was out. She was the anti-serious artist. You know, there was a lot of serious stuff going on during that time period. You know, Biggie,
but then she was, but she was writing for a lot of those R&B acts that kind of came back too. So like the 702s, the Totals, and then she was, you know, Sierra, Jasmine Sullivan, like she, you know, like Missy got her fingerprints on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we saw 702 in Milwaukee in 90 and 97 at Summerfest, and she was with them, and you could tell it's her style. You could listen to some artists like, I know who wrote this. So it's obvious, you know, in that situation. Her production is all over that industry. If you all the industry during that time period. I mean, there, you know, other than, you know, Puff's producing a lot of stuff, but you know, Bad Boy touched a lot of stuff and a lot of things just didn't make sense at that time and point. You know, like this last album is nice. That Love album, that thing is nice. I hate to say it, but the production on that is it's good. It's good. I mean, you
on
know,
what album?
I don't trust him, but I listen to that album. I'm listening to it like, okay, Puff, what's going on with this album? I mean, he's dropping these lines, these statements, and everybody goes like, what is he on? You know what I mean? The
I
Kim
mean,
Porter song is crazy. I don't know if you heard that. It's real nice
nah, I
production.
haven't heard none of it. It sounds like that's a confession, if anything. At best, the way you talking about this, I haven't heard none of this album, but
It's like that Last Train to Paris. You ever heard Last Train to Paris? How
Yeah.
like
See, now I was about to say that because I think Last Train to Paris was nice. Like I thought the production on that was crazy. And some of the songs they had put together, and I liked it. So I
it's
know a lot of people didn't like that album. But
no, I understand that one. That's one of the ones you listen to, but it's a mood. It's got to be a certain mood or whatever, certain vibe for that one. You know,
yep.
this thing is I don't know. This one's like it's hard to describe. You know, it's confessions. It's puffy confessions from Hell's Kitchen. Best way to
oh
put it.
wow.
He's telling a lot. You listen to what he's saying. It's kind of like you can't understand where he's going with this stuff. You know, like you listen to an artist. You know, like Luther never sang to a gender in particular, but he's saying to somebody, and people joke he's singing to Freddie Jackson. That's what the Love album is like. You know, in that situation,
Oh wow.
it's so there's a lot of innuendo. Like if you
Mm.
weren't alive during that time period, and you listen to this, you just think it's somebody playing music in the club. No, he's telling all types of stuff. You listen to it, and you're like, okay, is that fight he had with Mace? Who is he talking about right here? So that's what that album is like. That album is like him telling on everything he's did wrong and everything he's not been convicted for, or whatever you want to put in that light. So
Oh man,
it's a
he needs
statute
to
of
write an
limitations
apology
album.
letter to Shine.
Mhm.
Right?
Man.
Yeah.
Does he apologize to Shine? Or
He
does
took a
he
picture.
not?
He took a picture with him recently hugging him. Have you seen that picture?
Man, he
Nuh-uh.
sound like trying to right his wrongs before it's too late. What about Black Rob though?
No,
You
no,
gonna
you
go
don't
that
want
far?
that. You can't write that wrong.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like, what we gonna touch on? We gonna touch it all, or we selective?
Ain't touching G-Dap either.
Oh, of course not.
Man. But you know what? I mean that album, yeah, that album could be his own podcast. That Love album. I mean, the cover is creepy. You know, it's him in the background fading into love or whatever. I'm like, what is this? It's like it's trying to be Kanye like without the Kanye effect. You know what I mean? It looks like the Beautiful Dark Nightmare cover when you see it, and you're like, did he take the whole cover? But it's very similar. I
He
mean,
just had an interview with Breakfast Club. I'm gonna have to do some. I'm gonna have to. I agree. Do some. We should all look into that album and look at some current events.
oh yeah, tied to Kim Porter and everything else. You might get Cassie. There's he's talking about Cassie on the album.
Oh damn. He
Oh, it's
going.
deep.
Oh no. I
Oh
mean, I'd be
wow.
hurt if I lost Cassie too, though.
hmm
Like I think Cassie go harder than J Lo to me. That's just
Yeah.
how I feel about it.
I
But
think Puff is beyond gender. I think at this point, that's what I'll say about that. He's beyond the norm. That's what I think in that situation. Yeah, that's a whole conversation piece about what you think about Puff. But he's different. That's like Frank Ocean. When you think about Frank Ocean, that situation, nobody believed. The Frank said what he was about. Nobody believed it. They were like, "This ain't possible." But Frank's vinyl goes for like 3x on the internet and stuff like that.
Wow.
He's the only R&B artist that his materials sell for like 3 to 4 times the price of what they normally cost.
Yeah, I remember hearing an interview about that. Like he has hella residual behind his stuff, like that retains value.
Oh man,
he finessed
the whole industry and disappeared.
Yeah,
I'm not even mad at him.
I'm eating off of this for 10x, like you said. I'm gonna eat off this, and y'all ain't gonna never hear from me again. It's gonna be like that aftermath. Like we're never gonna get detox, but you keep hearing that it exists. Like he's on that shit. It sounds like I'm gonna drop another album maybe, but it's already made. But I'm never gonna release it. But this vinyl though, that's three times worth. It's original price.
I mean, you named the album Orange. You named the album Orange, and he's supposed to drop like red and stuff like. They all got colors, so basically, he drops orange. I mean, and that album came on vinyl, disappeared. It was like $60 in record shops. Like the places here in Chicago, and it was that price. And what happened pretty much that it escalated up to like $300 or $400. Frank Ocean stuff is hard to find. I mean, it's up there. Tyler was like that for a minute. And then he went mainstream. He was underground, with golf and everything like that. And then when he went above ground, everything went normal. He became target ready. He wasn't target ready for years. Yonkers was so dark and gritty compared to like what he doing today. Like Igor is the transition album to he got in everybody's house. Igor is the house out. Igor got into everybody's house and everybody's car. Everything after that is all money.
So, random question: have y'all talked about the Lil Yachty album that came out earlier in the year?
No, we need to. We need to. My kids hooked on Yachty, and she's still singing Minnesota. Walking around the house singing Minnesota. I looked at her one day. I was like, "Where'd you get that from?" TikTok. So like he runs TikTok, and his ad libs and his lines live everywhere. But we do need to talk about him.
I was not messing with him. Like
Nobody
a
was.
couple songs, a couple songs, and then I heard the album. I was like, oh, huh.
Well, you know
pretty
what?
much.
He's smart. He's very smart. I mean, I would say no disrespect to Uzi. Uzi's a different animal in that situation. Uzi is like that kid in your neighborhood that walks around making these sounds and everybody think they're hot, but he's not really doing anything. I mean, he's a nice artist because his creativity is like out there on another planet. He's one of those artists like you talk about where he's already on Mars, but we don't understand it. And one day, like 40 years later, you're like, man, that dude was nice. Because that's how it is with most of these artists. I mean, Yachty's like that too. Yachty's, those Boats albums are incredible. Production wise, the lyrical content, what he talking about. And then you sit there and go, look, Yachty made an album like this. The videos, think about Broccoli and the rest of that stuff.
Yeah, that's how I felt like about Vince, and like even one that throw in there is like XXX. Like, I wish
he's a sleeper.
Yeah, like I wish we had more of him. It's like how I feel about Pop Smoke. Like, damn, like too soon.
Ooh.
Like how you said, like these artists that got deleted before they could really hit their strides. Like it sucks because it's like how we were talking about X too. Like the voice, the cadences, the way they can touch different genres, and like even hearing like some documentaries with XXX, like boy was hip hop for real. Like you want to talk about a hybrid artist that was like you're a whole ass like 3 decades behind damn near. And like for you to know like boom bats and like like in different drum and cadences and stuff like that, very in tune with the melodicness of the music overall, it just like really fucked me up. I was like, damn, like what the hell? We couldn't get more projects out of these artists before they, it's kind of like how you guys were talking about like Jude, man, like a lot of these dudes that came up in that era, like they weren't mainstream, and now it's like they can't break mainstream because now they're held to a cap now because they're not here with us, which sucks.
AI is here to save us all, unfortunately.
Man, some of the stuff I remember sending Jason stuff. I'm like, do you hear this shit? Like I sat here and like Halfway Crooks. It sounds so fucking different when I think who they had. I think they had Biggie do it and Pac. I was just like, what the this I'm conflicted. like this is crazy. And then how Michael sounds like The Weeknd. Like I'm like, yo, like this is concerning. Like I almost want to champion it because like one of my DJ friends, he was just like, I'm not fucking with none of that shit. Like I was like, I understand, but do you understand? Like he was like the exception to the rule with that. He was like, let's take Beanie Siegel. Like his vocals are just wrecked. Like if you give him Chad TV or AI to fucking put out another album, but using his vocals, but still his lyrics behind it, but they could synthesize his voice. Like I'm like, then I'll take the handicap, put the bumpers on. You know what I'm saying? But
or the DLC.
Man, if we could get him to come back out, like, man, the West Coast will be so livid, like, but I don't know because
I would love to hear. I would love to hear Nate Dogg on
Mm,
another collab. That was
for real. Another one.
Nate Dogg. Yeah, put Nate Dogg on every hook.
They
Mm,
they've
mm,
been playing around with that in AI a lot lately. Nate Dogg's voice been all over some of these underground tracks and stuff like that.
mm-hmm,
Now they're starting to do a lot more big on everything now. And
mm-hmm,
like I always tell people, like Big and Pac. The thing was, to me, Pac was like a warrior. Big was like that evil assassin sitting in the back of the room. That person's watching everybody. In that regard, I
mm-hmm,
think that if he survived that situation and he's still here today, hip hop is totally different than what you see. You don't have the split you have right now. The way things split
mm-hmm,
and break down the middle. That
mm-hmm.
split's going to be there forever. I mean, because there isn't really it's not coastal as it used to be. Now it's more it's like Midwest out. What you're starting to see right now, like a lot of the music is coming from our area, coming to Chicagoland, that Indiana. They say it's like the next big. They said
Mm-hmm.
Gary, Indiana is the next big hip hop area. And I'm
Wow.
looking at it, it's like Freddie Gibbs in them, and I'm laughing about this. Like, Freddie's okay. I like Freddie, but what else in Indiana are you telling me is going to be this nice that it's going to affect the whole genre, the whole industry at
So
this
are they
point?
more like drill rappers? I'm not sure who's coming out of Indiana. Are
It's
they more
like
like drill?
it's this drill because New York is
Hmm.
drilling now too, as you probably already
Right.
know. New York
Oh
is
yeah.
Yeah, New York is drilling hard. I mean, Bobby Smurda them started that movement out there, and
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
escalating. And then Chicago, everything sounds like they're about to go to combat. Everything sounds like you're getting ready to go get the shotgun and you about to go up in somebody's house.
About to spin the block real quick.
Well, think about it, it's the 21 Savage life right now. You think about it,
Mm-hmm.
everybody, Drake is like Jay-Z. Jay-Z is like a vampire. He sucks the styles in. He started rapping like them Philly boys.
Mm-hmm.
And that Philly style is like boxing. He took the Philly boxing, he took the Philly rapping style.
Mm-hmm.
He kept Chris and young Chris and all of them around him, Chris and Neef. He sucked them in. He took their style. There's a video on YouTube where actually they're rapping. Well, they said they're rapping like him, but he's rapping like them.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the Philly artists. He keeps those young artists around him to stay relevant because he ain't out there no more. So he ain't
Mm-hmm.
in the streets. So the thing is, he brings the streets to the studio. He sit
Mm-hmm.
there and he's ask people to spit your best bars. He take their bars and spit it back at them. His ability is he don't write. He just listens and attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lost art for him. He can take
Mm-hmm.
your
So it was,
style. Look at Drake. Who do you
Mm-hmm.
so
steal from?
someone was saying this about Drake. They were
Mm-hmm.
like, "Yo," people be like, "How come Drake don't act no more?" And I'm like, "What if Drake is his act? Like how he be stealing these people's stuff and he continuously like transform that dude." Like I feel like maybe Aubrey was, rapping when he first came out or something. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't can't give me a Drake sound. Like he don't act no more because he's acting 24/7. And it constantly changes characters and seasons. Like just
Mm-hmm.
goes. And I was just like, it's kind of genius,
It's kind of
But like
funny that you
sometimes,
say that because it's like that Bobby interview he did. I saw it before they took
Mm-hmm.
it down. And to
Mm-hmm.
your point, he remembered even like the Yachty interview that was like that Bobby interview, like he mirrors the people that he's next to. And he like to your point, he's cloning. And like low key is like I don't wanna like I remember he said this line like I call you she was like, oh, say my name in the song. Like change like no, I'm not gonna do that because then it's like it creates a whole different fucking song and you could take credit for that or you can make money off of that. I'm not gonna make my song and put a new line in it. But then he's like he said something slick to her in regards to that request, like I'll call you Thotty Bobby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if he would have leaned into that some more, he could create a whole wave of like fucking memes and shit or like shit Drake raps about memes like back in the day type posts like and just to me it's like how y'all are talking about I'm like yeah he kind of like it's like is he an actor I mean
bro,
that's not far fetched I think everybody's acting in the booth because they're using their imagination but I guess it's like to your point like where is this his like I think every artist has a baseline like you know me for this and it's kind of like Drake
Yeah.
is known as an actor, and then turned into a rapper, and then it's like, oh, you also sing too. So it's kind of like he kind of was like, you could say maybe one of those first industry plans. Because I remember when he was at the Grammys and he was rapping with Wayne, and he had a knee injury. He was sitting on a
Oh,
stool. I was just like, this is a bad look, and I was like, I don't like this guy. But then, the best I ever had came out, and then a couple more records and Young Money, and then you just like you get pumped up with all this, juice going into the industry,
I
and then you got
I
these
feel
super
like that's
groups.
a whole. I feel like that's a whole pod itself, man. Can we talk about
Yeah.
Young Money's 4 or 5 year
Mm-hmm.
run? Like
Mm-hmm.
the rise again.
that,
Mm-hmm.
they were putting out, and like
Mm-hmm.
everyone would. You want to talk about hybrids? They literally had like 4 people on the roster
Yeah.
that was actually in their
Mhm.
hybrid bag. Like when Wayne,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't mind Wayne's songs where he was actually singing, and I don't, so he was doing some of the melodic type stuff. We've already talked about Nicki. Drake was doing what Drake
Mm-hmm.
do, but then
Mm-hmm.
I
Mhm.
think I don't know. Well, they signed so many random people like on and off. Only one I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad that really didn't kind of work out was I didn't think Omarion kind of fit within whatever he was doing, but I liked the
Mm-hmm.
tracks that he did with Maybach Music. Like
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
thought him, Wale, and Rick Ross, low key, he probably has some of the best recent kind of R&B kind of collabs and certain things, like how he do his stuff. Like I know I still like some of his hard stuff, but I would probably say Rick got some stuff too, man. Like I don't I like his
Mm-hmm.
collabs.
Well, think about Maybach Music, and you think about all those songs, the song, with Drake and everything on there. Basically, don't you got Drake singing on that one track, and it's nuts. I mean, like Rick's probably got the best R&B collaborations out there. And then you think with Rick with Wale and everything a couple of times, when they were all one big happy family. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so Rick has always did good on R&B tracks. That's why Puff reached out to him from Bad Boy, because he saw the Biggie similarity. Biggie was good on R&B tracks. So Rick is poor man's Biggie in that situation, to be honest with you. He could do more, but you know what? His interest is diverse and spread out more so than Big at this point. He's doing everything. Wings, selling anything under the sun. He's wearing
Mm-hmm.
small jackets on TV right now with the stomach
Oh
hanging out.
Lord. Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
You saw the Fat Joe picture recently?
Nah.
Oh
What
man.
happened?
He got the shirt on, man, with the tummy, the wrinkled tummy, man. I saw it the other day and I was like, yeah, it's wild. And
I'm gonna Google this real quick. Fat Joe.
everybody's comfortable now. I guess that's a good thing.
Yes, it's not a good look. I mean, it's like saying with
Mhm.
what we call it,
Mhm.
motherfucking what's his DJ friend, DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
It's like
Uh,
don't
Oh
let me catch you
God.
outside. Don't let me catch you outside, son. Like you doing
Yeah.
too much.
Nah,
Yeah.
that's been good. I think definitely what we do is we definitely do an episode. Let's get into that Yachty album, and I want
Mm.
to I want to talk about the rise and fall of Young Money.
Yeah, Rise and Fall Young Money. I was telling
That's
Jay
fun.
like I want to do a 50 Cent G Unit.
Oh, let us know. Let us know.
Yeah,
We
because that
definitely.
would be dope. Because that's like
I
current
would tell you,
events
man.
still.
You want to talk about who sound good on an R&B track? Lloyd Banks sound good on an R&B track, man.
All the
Man,
time.
Like
Smile.
Smile's crazy.
Like man,
So
yeah,
Lloyd got a few. I'm
yeah.
just like, oh, okay, good. So I
Mm-hmm.
man, well, yo, I gotta run, man. But this was dope, man. Hope to chop it up with
Yeah,
y'all again.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely,
man,
definitely,
real
we definitely do
boys.
that. All
All
right,
right.
yeah, yeah, definitely check us out everywhere podcasts are available. I want to thank you guys for coming out, PJ and Q. Yeah, we'll definitely get back on and do another episode. But yeah, definitely go out and listen to something dope today. Don't listen to trash. There's always somebody out there with good music. So enjoy your
Yeah.
day.
All right,
All
y'all.
right,
Be easy.
word.
Okay.
Peace.